Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Hello. Today, you already know what time it is. We're gonna cut up. Wild West of real estate. Chase Bank steals $87,000 and $1,500 for your house. Stop signing contracts. So, I think I try really hard to show y'all data, numbers, opportunities, ways to increase your income. And, sometimes people respond like the Borg. I don't know if y'all know, Star Trek like that, but it was like the Borg was like a big square, and everybody plugged into the board, and they'd be like, resistance is futile, right? They would get you some way, somehow they'd get you. And at the end of the day, what I want y'all to understand is if you believe, everything's crashing, everything's over, then I don't even know why you, how you get out of bed in the morning. I'm just being honest with you. That kind of makes me nervous for you. I'm kind of worried about you. But there are some examples I want to go over today of some really crazy stories. I don't think y'all even would believe it if I hadn't shown you these crazy stories, because I didn't think people were down this bad, right? And I don't mean, let me be careful. I think a lot of people have been doing lazy stuff and like know they should be doing better, but they haven't really necessarily needed to do it, right? Like I could do better, sure. Not really need to do better, right? Not in a bad financial state, so they don't feel the need, so they don't. Okay. As a person who's buying a house, if you could hear the people buying a house in this economy, this market, and I'm like, yeah, it's actually quite competitive for the areas I want to go. Yeah, there's a bunch of empty homes in certain neighborhoods nobody wants, but it's kind of competitive for the areas you do want. And a lot of people don't understand that. So I'll keep it simple. Again, extra 40 certifications ebook there, adjuster money, mobile notary money, and the 5-day challenge. You can get those links right there. They're inside the chat and they will be pinned in the description. So let's get into it. First things first, man. Boy. Let's get some sadness to kick off our day, because it's over. We're all going to be in a tent apparently. So let me go ahead and no disrespect, no knock to this person. This person is a lawyer. They're educated. And sometimes if you think the help should come from outside of you, to me, that's victim mentality. Like when I hear people use the word gatekeepers, I get really exhausted. Now there is technical gatekeepers, because there should be. You as a white belt in karate can't walk up on a black belt and be like, teach me everything. Be like, man, you just got here a week ago. You got a white belt like the 5-year-olds. You have to actually put some time in, right? This internet has confused y'all that I'm not going to pay somebody for their time. I'm going to Google it for free. Like there's a woman in Chicago. She has like 50 rentals and she does flips and she's posting it. She's pretty young and people are like, I'm not going to pay her for information I can Google. I'm like, you can't Google her networks. You can't Google the bank she works with. You can't go into the rooms and be like, I saw this girl on Instagram doing this, so I should be able to do it too. That's not how any of this works. And because in our society, we have stripped away, schools, what we call etiquette schools, dance classes, rites of passage ceremonies. The closest you get is pretty much fraternities and sororities make people dress up and go to events. That's basically it, right? A lot of these adults out here have no need to buy a suit because they don't want to. They have no need to use manners or etiquette because they don't want to. You're in a society where people are like, they're gatekeeping me from the access. You don't deserve the access. Truth be told, and that's why sometimes people say, well, they only pick certain people to be the messenger. That's true. But information still gets out. So let me go here. Let me play this, and I'm only going to play like 3 minutes because that's all I can take before my stomach hurts.
Welcome to Tone Talk. What's up, y'all? This is Antonio Moore. Come to you from Tone Talk.
Speed up. My bad. Here you go.
Discussion today. Discussion that's long overdue. For the better part of a decade, I've been discussing wealth with you in a way that I feel like no Black economist, no Black professor, definitely none of these Earn Your Leisure or Boyce Watkins folks have really talked to you about it. And now it's time to give you that ultimate lesson. It's going to be hard to hear, but I'm going to definitely back it up by showing you information, resources, and data coming from the Federal Reserve and the like. And what I believe we're at is a position where now is very clear in the information that once the Black boomers pass on, due to a lack of politics, due to a belief in Nixonian Black capitalism, pushed on you up to the present by people like Boyce Watkins and Earn Your Leisure, there will be literally no Black wealth. It'll be so nominal that
that's what I have it on. I be having it on there. I can't take it.
And many of you are feeling that impact in your life from driving Uber to not being able to afford basic things like food and not having stability in terms of how you're going to house yourself. You can wait for tomorrow or hear it today. It really doesn't matter too much what you do at this point. Many of you actually voted against your own interest and voted for Trump, which will expedite.
Many of you, it doesn't matter what you do today, tomorrow. Let me finish. Sorry. Go ahead.
Like that. When I say expedite, take it from a 7-year window to a 1 to 2 year window as he cuts your Section 8 or your Medicaid. But what I'm more so focused in on this show is how I'm going to show you in data what's happening is that Black wealth is disappearing. And the only time we saw Blacks really gain like some kind of wealth in number was during the era post-civil rights.
Boom. Okay. This is what I want out of this. I'm going to play a little bit more, but this is what I want out of this. Can y'all see this? Let me make this bigger. Full screen. Let me see this. Is this full screen? Did it look? There we go. There we go. Why am I showing y'all this? Why am I showing you this? I want you to understand. Whoo, Lord Jesus. What happened here in 1980? Look, let's really go here. 1960 to 1980. This right here. And a lot of people think the 80s and 90s are crack babies. We talk a lot about crack, right? But actually during the 80s and 90s was actually the highest number of Black people going to historically Black colleges and getting master's degrees and PhDs. We always associate it with crack, and that just drives me crazy because there was some crack going on for sure. There was some crack and it was whack. But I want you to understand what happened here. You know, if you want me to be honest and you don't want to hear the ugliness, what happened here, sure, we can talk about jobs. We can talk about jobs overseas. We can talk about Brooklyn, New York, how things got messed up. This right here was marriage and house buying. This is Black people, civil rights. Let's just go there. Okay, civil rights. Black people being able to buy a house up to 71 or 67, 68. Black people were married at high rates. High rate. Listen, my grandma was married 4 times. Her husbands was dying. They was falling off tractors. They were getting shot in wars. Stuff was happening. Okay. So Black people was getting married. Okay. God bless my grandma's soul, but Black people was getting married. Okay. And they bought houses and they bought stuff. Okay. Let's just go here. They bought Dr. K. It's a whole, that's why I tell you on One Side of My Family, it's a whole, I can make Tyler Perry movies, like the good ones though, not the bad ones. We be the wealthy, evil Black people, you know, the wealthy Terry cousins rubbing it in everybody's face. Okay, so long story short, here was the fall off. 1980s, our farm families, many Black farm families, you had a recession, 1980, the gold, the gas embargoes, all that stuff. This is the start. This was the turn. Okay. A bunch of Black farms that we knew lost their land, right? Just in our circle. People that held land for 100 years were losing it. Couldn't get a $5,000 loan from, the government, all kind of stuff. Right here was the turn. It was turn right here. Now, if you look at this line, you look at this stuff, what's really happening, okay? And we can go all through, woo, okay? Down here, what you're seeing, okay? This is the bottom 90. Now, why am I talking about the red line? I'm talking about the red line because if you were married and you own property in the United States, you were doing great. Just being honest, because of redlining rules. If you were able to keep your farm, if you were able to do a lot of stuff, you were doing great. Okay? Down here, these are people who may be transient, moving around, sharecropping, a lot of sharecropping. Okay? Down here, okay, to this part, right about here, right about 18. Then these people started doing what? Moving to the city, right? Moving to the city. Okay? Now, why am I going through this and explaining this to y'all? The point of me explaining this is the only thing that will change these lines, and the reason it's meeting in the middle, where you're saying, man, they're losing their wealth. What is happening is the lack of marriage and home ownership. Majority of people's data they're collecting is via their home. This is why the second video I'm going to show you that people just think it's black people all the time. No, there are white people losing their homes and signing off payday loans for $1,500 at astronomical rates, to the point that the government got to step in and be like, hey, what the heck's going on? Okay. You have so many people that I know that are black that have family farms right now. Nobody cares. There's nobody to take it over. I know 6 black farmers right now who could make amazing money. And I just tell them, you're going to have to get some Hispanics on this farm to make this farm continue to work. Yeah, I'm sorry. Am I driving y'all crazy with the mouse moving? Oh, did I do it? Hold on. Can you see it here? Is it working? I'm so sorry. How about this right here? Can y'all see now? This right here? This is what I was saying. From 1960 to 1980, I'm talking about marriage, home ownership, farms, making money. Can y'all see it? If y'all can now, let me know. I'm moving the mouse. Okay. Down here, this is 1980. This is the oil embargo. This is Jimmy Carter. This is our depression in the 80s. Now, if you go a little bit further, 1987, Wall Street depression. This is what happened right here, right? So as you see this is going down, this is what's happening, right? And again, farms selling off, houses selling off, old people dying, etc., etc. Can y'all see that now? Is it making it? Is it doing it? Is the mouse mousing? Shit. Okay, now down here, okay. All right. Okay, down here. All right, you see this right here? Okay, see this right here? Okay. All right, so the red line is the wealth held by the bottom 90. That's why I was talking about farms, talking about marriage, talking about oil embargo, talking about all this stuff. That's why I was going down, 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 down. Okay, right? Now the green line, okay, this is held by the 1%. What did they do in 1980? Start investing in more stocks, even though they had hiccups with the stock market, more land, buying up people's land, buying up people's stuff, franchises, more franchises, boom. Only thing that will change this red line is marriage. I know y'all hate me for saying this. Is marriage. Number 2 is home ownership. Number 3 is stock ownership. Number 4, insurance. 80% of the wealth black people own is in a business of millionaire black people. Black people over $700,000 in net worth is number 1 and 2, a business. Number 2 is real estate. I just showed y'all California, where the lady was 93 years old and she got 4 generations living in a house she bought for $16,000 in 1960 with her husband. And it's worth 3.4 to 3.7 or 4 million, depending on who you ask, because of the fire. But if she sell that home, where the rest of them kids gonna go? California gonna eat her up with taxes, 40% taxes. I mean, closer to 27, but California gonna eat her ass up with taxes if she sells it. If the kids in the future sell it, it's gonna eat them up with taxes. They're millionaires on paper. Once grandma 93 goes out the door, they're millionaires on paper. Okay? These are people who are actively acquiring assets. And after 1980, this is what y'all really don't want to hear. If y'all understand this green line, I'm gonna explain it to you. This green line right here, this was the oligarchs dying off. This was the big oil barons, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the several people. Go watch the Gilded Age. All them people, they were dying off. They were dying. This is their line. People from the Civil War descendants. There are people who are the grandchildren of Civil War people right now still alive in America. That's why when y'all try to say, oh, that was so long ago. No, it's not. It's literally 2 80-year-old women dying back to back. Okay. So, all right. So now after 1980, that's why they say 80% of the wealth in America after 1980 is self-made, because a lot of the oil
Post the new deal.
Okay. That's what happened. Does that make sense? I had a 76-year-old couple not allowed to do a wire transfer due to age. It happens. Grandparents bought a home in 1972 and $92 payroll. Okay. I just want to make sure y'all saw the mouse. Okay. Boom. Mass layoffs. Yeah. There you go. That's true too. I'm telling you. Special Negro. Okay. So I just want to start the video there because I know many people like, Erica, why you always, complaining, about what Black people think? And I'm like, I promise you, there is a section of Black people. If you don't have a PhD or letters behind your name, they really don't want to listen to what you got to say. And then if you do, they still don't want to look, well, you a PhD, you don't know what it's like to be an average person. And I'm like, baby, make up your mind. But if Sexy Red said, they were like, yeah, they looking for the book. No, let me not do that. Okay. Let me keep going. Listen. All right. That's a real story. And even when they gave out all them $50,000 checks all up and down the Mississippi and Louisiana for the farm discrimination, did the people go buy land? No, they bought Cadillacs. It's crazy. Come on. And again, a lot of Black people in the South, people up north sent their kids down south because they were short on food in Chicago, short on food in Baltimore, and short on food in New York. If y'all really go back and look at some of them stories, you would think, why would you send your Black child to the South? The races, the people could die, right? People didn't understand it was a food issue. It was a food issue. They were sending their kids down south because they know they could stay with their grandparents in Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and they could eat food and they could play with their cousins. And so their mom and daddy, if they wanted to work extra hours or they wanted to hang out at the juke joint, they could do it. It wasn't until you saw that boy that died, and I just forgot his name. Damn, I'm sorry. The boy that got killed and was dragged underwater, and they brought him back to Chicago. It wasn't until that happened that Amtrak, hey, Black people stopped sending their kids down south. They like, okay, y'all doing too much. But it was a food issue. People don't talk about that though. But if you go read a lot of the reports, Black people, the people in Mississippi Delta, thank you, Emmett Till. The Mississippi Delta had a lot of Black people dying from measles. So you're going to say, why weren't they vaccinating these people? They were malnutrition children in the Mississippi Delta dying from measles. All you needed was vitamin A. You need like I'm not trying to be funny right now. There's an outbreak of measles in Texas, in the west part where all the immigrants come across the border, and also in Houston. And they're blaming the Amish and the Mennonites in Houston because y'all don't know about that. Houston got a big batch of Amish over there in the edge part. And they can't blame them because the Amish are well fed. Their children, they make their own food. They grow their own food, and they don't mingle with us like that. That's the illegal immigrants coming that are not vaccinated. And at the end of the day, you don't die from measles unless you're malnutrition. But that's a whole nother. I can go on a whole tangent about food, and like when people talk about food deserts, the only way you didn't have food desert is if your grandma had a victory garden. But let's get up out of there. Let me just finish this minute more of the sad show, and then I can go on.
Deal where Black boomers were able to take advantage of the crumbs falling off of white tables and made themselves, in far too many cases, brochure babies. So that face that go on the cover of the university magazine or the cover of the community newspaper. So now we're here at that consequence, and nobody is really grasping what this means for their lives. Somebody might say, what's the solution? Well, there is going to be a solution. You just not-
listen. So there was a push. Listen, they did a study. It was like 2 Amish babies had autism, and it was from a girl who came back after she turned 25 and her babies had been vaccinated. The Amish purposely make the kids go across state lines so the blood don't mix. They purposely make the Pennsylvania folks go to Utah. I was watching this thing. They make the North Carolina folks come to Texas. You know what I'm saying? They make it mix and mingle. Does that make sense? so that the blood mix, right? They even got some black Amish popping up. I said, when did y'all find some black Amish? But it was, I was watching the documentary. They got some black ones out there now. Look, when they need to refresh the blood, I guess they just, hey, bring them on in here. We need a one or two, mix it up. So let me finish this because there was a push about 2 years ago to ask Tone Talks what's the solution. And he went off. He went off for 30 minutes in the video. And I know I got that clip somewhere, but it's probably on the laptop that died. And I laughed so hard. I played that thing 3 times. Boy, him and Yvette Carnell, y'all had them hot asking them what's the solution for about 2 years. It was the best.
You're not gonna have no wealth. And you probably don't have none now. I showed you for the better part of a decade in many of these cities, middle black family worth $200 in LA, 50 or so in Atlanta, 8 in Boston. Those are not really, like, if you don't have money in your account and you have meaning real 30,000, 50,000, that's a low end. You're really not a stable American family participating in the American dream. You just kind of here. Let's talk about it.
All right. I'm gonna stop here because that was the gist of what I wanted y'all to understand. I will agree on one point. If you're in America and you making under 20K a year, you just here. You could go to Mexico. You could go to Mexico. You can go to Spain. You can go overseas. We're not going to really miss you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you really aren't contributing. Now, you may say, well, Erica, what if they make $20,000 and they work at a daycare center? Okay, we do need you. We need you. But this kind of story that every black person don't make no money, Erica, that's the best they can do. No, you're not all school teachers. Knock it off. Like, people can get skills and do better. If I would put it to you this way, I'd be really honest with you. If we could get 10% of black men who are having job issues in Chicago, which is almost 45% unemployment, and with Wisconsin, they got a high unemployment after factories left. If we could get black men in DC, Philadelphia, and Georgia into blue collar work, the numbers on black wealth and data and marriage would skyrocket. I mean, I literally tell people, I said, we could scoop a million black men off the top and put them in blue collar work, and it still wouldn't change. It would change the economy for us, but people wouldn't notice it. They would just be a couple black men here, a couple black men there on construction sites. It wouldn't even be that much. We're talking about an economy of 150 million people working. And I'm just saying, a million black men getting a blue collar work, financially life-changing to society. It wouldn't bother nobody. Just being honest. It wouldn't hurt anything. Why is this important? Why are we bringing this up? We got to know the truth about numbers, and that there are black people out there with some money. Okay. Now, prime example, I'm going to play this woman. I'm scared to play her first. I hate to tell y'all that I'm scared to play her first because I want to fuss. Let me play him first. Let me play this first instead. Let me put myself together because I want to say something ugly. So let me stop. All right. So this is Marcus. He's in Houston. I've used him for other videos. Please go support his channel. Go, put a like or say, Erica sent us over here, whatever. Now, this is right here. The American dream now costs $4.4 million. According to who? According to who? Let's really chop this down. According to who? This is something people quote a lot. It drives me crazy because they just quoting anything. According to who? Now, let's bust out our handy dandy calculator. 4.4 million. I'm gonna put in my phone. Now I'm gonna already tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna subtract everything that don't make no daggone sense to me. Now, first things first, raising 2 kids on their 4-year college. What? Huh? Let's go over here. Annual vacation. What? Let's go ahead and deduct the vacation already. I can't. Vacation's coming off the paper immediately. Taking off. We took a vacation off. Pets, $36,000 for pets. Pets have come off pets have come off the table. Pets are off the table now. Owning a home. Now, how did they come to this number? Is this if somebody pays on their mortgage for 30 years? What is this? Where is this number coming from? Right? I want you to they need to tell me where this number is coming from. Okay. So already I'm gonna take 600,000 off owning a home because people got $300,000 houses. So I'm gonna just take it off for the sake of the argument. Okay, I'm taking that off. Taking 600,000 off. Owning a new car. How many new cars are they gonna own in their lifetime? We're gonna take the car off because the math ain't math, and we're gonna understand where they getting this math from, and then we're gonna try again. So I took the cars off. I just took the whole back. Wedding, 44,000. Baby, you better go to Hawaii and elope. Okay, so let's take the 44,000 off just for the sake of argument. We're gonna just take it off, y'all. Okay. Now we down to 2.7 mil. You know what I'm taking off next, right? That retirement, 1.59. 95. Okay. So I'm down, I'm down to 1,000,000.1. Them kids, it don't cost that much to raise no kids. But it says plus their 4-year colleges. This is 2 kids, and that number just sounds astronomical. Let's just say it costs 200,000 to raise some kids. Let's just say, let's give a small number, 200,000. So times 2, we'll say 400,000. Let's cut this number in half. I'm gonna take off 400,000 right now. We're down to $728,000. That's with no pets, no vacation. I kept the funeral in there. No wedding, no new car. Half off the budget on the kids and almost half off the budget, 2/3 off the house of budget. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Like, who came up with these numbers? Ooh, that's a key right there. 2 healthy kids. The people have some sick kids out here, right? That's what I'm saying. These kids going to Harvard. Where are these kids going? Come on, where are these kids going? You know, are we eating them filet mignon kids? What are these kids? Let's just try this right here. Marriage, life insurance, graduating high school, not having children before marriage, and studying an hour per night will ensure you see in America. They have data on this. The 3 key factors so you will not be in poverty in America. Because only 8% of Black married couples are in poverty. 22% of white married couples are in poverty. So you do the math on that, okay? The 3 keys, all you needed was not to have finish high school, 1. Number 2, have a full-time job for a year. Number 3, not have kids out of wedlock. That was it. When they looked over the chart of people who were broke and poor, like those are the 3 things that took everybody out of the list. Like, oh, you're broke? Well, what happened? You see what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff, people not ready. Listen, where are they getting these pets? I want to know. Because I see plenty of mutt dogs that people just pick up off the street. This is true. 180. I mean, just 45,000 for the wedding. You know, it's getting kind of crazy. Pet grooming and maintenance is high, you know, but even then, not that high. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they got 2 kids, 2 adults. Where are they going? Pets coming off. I mean, I'm just saying, okay? Now, you may say, well, Erica, come on, man. You know, come on. What about the kids, man? I was looking at Abilene University for my 2-year-old in the future. It's 59,000 per kid. Baby, they ain't going to Abilene then. They better pick something else. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna play it. But even if you do over a lifetime, because it's saying over a lifetime, I'm like, what is the fees? Well, and here's the thing. I've always been told as an adult, as a kid, don't have more kids than you can afford. And what you'll see if you really look out here in the atmosphere, there's a lot of Black women with 1 kid. It's like they learned their lesson. They're like, nah, I'm good. You got me once. I meet more business Black women, educated Black women, nurses with 1 kid, just 1. And I'd be like, oh, you ain't got no, I got 1 kid. He about to graduate. I meet so many Black women, 35 to 50, with 1 kid. If y'all know how many calls are booked with me where they got 1 kid, that's why this whole stigma, 70% of Black women have kids. I'm like, nah, there's only 2 million Black babies born a year. And then there's 20 million, I say 24 million Black women over the age of 18. We're not even counting underage girls. So when I tell people 1 kid, I keep hearing Every day I look around, one kid. Oh, girl, you ready for college? Look, one kid. There you go. One kid, one kid. And they don't get no more. They go, woo, you got me once. Shame on me. You're not going to get me twice. Okay. My coworker's wife took 75,000 out of 401k. You already know. You already know. Now, here's the funny thing. I've been on phone calls, no lie, where I've had some people here, they'll tear up a car and every 2 to 3 years they're buying new cars. And I literally be like, what's up? Is there a problem? Well, I don't want the car tearing down and breaking apart. I'm like, they don't break apart in 3 years. What are you doing? Wrapping them around poles? Driving 100 miles per hour? Get out of here. That's crazy. Look, one kid. I'm telling y'all, it's when you meet, they be like, I meet black women all the time with kids. And I would go, how many? Oh, one kid. I'm telling you, I meet black men. They complain about black women kids. But when you ask them how many kids, they go, one kid. It's I hear it a lot. She said, I got one kid sent today. Daddy, I said, listen, I'm just telling y'all. So let me play some of this video. Hold on.
Household income, average household income, the average income of men in the United States. Y'all asked me to look into average net worth, which I'll hit in this video. Here's a breakdown of net worth in the United States from ages 18 to ages 80, including average, median, your bottom 25%, all the way up to your top. Work with. Let's start looking.
All right. So overall, Americans believe a net worth of 2.5 million makes you rich. Okay. The average net worth needed to be wealthy, according to all Americans, 2.5. Gen Z, 1.2, because they know the math is very simple depending on what type of returns. Okay. Millennials, Gen X, boomers. Okay. Boomers are like, come on, baby, light my fire. As Aaron Clary says, boomers are one of the wildest generations. You know, boomers are Donald Trump's generation. They're the last generation. They done got married. They done got divorced. They got about 3-4 families. They done got RVs. They done traveled all over the world. They done been hippies. They done went to war. They done came back from war. They done did a bunch of stuff. Boomers really lived, y'all. You know, Gen X been grumpy for like 30 years, but boomers really lived. Okay. Gen X are like, it's not fair. Reality bites. But boomers, baby, they did it all. And they keep doing it all, except watching their grandbabies. They do that. They don't do that. From what I see out here.
At what average net worth means. If you never calculated your average net worth is assets minus liabilities equals your net worth.
Now, this is the most important thing I want y'all to see out of this thing. Okay. Put it in your mind, burn it into your mind. Why am I going to bring this up? This is going to be brought up in the video. I'm going to show y'all checking accounts, savings account, retirement accounts, real estate, autos, right? The negatives are always going to be consumer debt, personal loans, student loans, etc., right? So people, you know, these are the assets, right? Let's not get lost. But right here, I want y'all to keep this in mind before I go to the next video.
Assets might include, like this example from NerdWallet, checking accounts, saving accounts, retirement savings, real estate, and ideally appreciable assets. Your liabilities is basically where your debts are. Think consumer debts, personal loans, student loans, credit card debts. That's mostly what most Americans are going to have. So assets minus liabilities equals your net worth. Their wealth is capital.
All right. The majority of middle class wealth is in real estate and retirement accounts. The pink is real estate. Please, everybody, look at this. Screenshot it if you must. I need you to see this. I need you to understand this. If you don't understand nothing else, this is USA Facts. You can go get this from USA Facts. Okay. You can go to Marcus's video. He has a lot of links underneath his videos. All this, I like using Marcus because Marcus be on the numbers. He be real spot on. And he's on the numbers, and this is just, he uses good graphs. So I like showing his page because it's easy, good graphs. Now look at the bottom 20%. What is their net worth? 40% of them, it's their house. Look how small their stocks account are. Purple is stocks. Gray is other assets. Junkyard, I call them junkyard billies. Look at their businesses. Having a private business. Retirement accounts are nothing. Bottom 20%, nothing. Look at that. Their retirement accounts are nothing. Please look at this graph. If you don't remember nothing out of what I said today, okay? Look at this graph. I had someone that worked for me. He paid $90,000 for his daughter in divorce court and fighting for custody for 3 years. I said, where did you pull the 90,000 from? He's like, well, I was in sales and I just paid it because I didn't want her ex-husband to win, to get the kid, that one kid from their marriage. He paid $90,000. I said, what does your daughter do now? She's at school for photography. Your daughter's in her 30s going to school for photography and you paid $90,000 to make sure she got custody. Baby, get it together, okay? Now, why am I showing this? Again, second bottom. Now look at their retirement accounts. Very robust. Look at the middle class retirement account. Very robust. Did you just look? Somebody just came in. Did you just come in? We talked about tone talks in the beginning of the show. We literally did 10 minutes of tone talks. But he has no solutions. He just says you're going to be poor. Good luck on being poor. And if the American government doesn't give us a check, you're going to stay poor. That is incorrect. That leads to crime. That leads to depression. That leads to murders. Let's just go there. Out of here. All right. No harm, no foul, E. Just letting you know. All right. So fourth 20%, top 20%, you start to see the stocks switch, right? This is where here and here, see how that stock switch? And now up here, top 1%, stocks. Okay. Private businesses and stocks. Okay. So see, as you go up the ladder, but again, I want you to understand, like down here, it's the assets. Okay. Assets. They got some stocks, but not really. And real estate is their biggest holder. Okay. So why is that important to you? When I talk about real estate and somebody's going to tell you don't buy a house, Grant Cardone's telling you not to buy a house, he's telling you to be poor. Because this is where most of you are going to have some type of retirement, something to sell, something to hold on to. If you've seen all the articles and stories where somebody, they ain't had, like the video I'm going to show y'all in Colorado, all those people got is their house. They don't even make good money. They just got their house. And I see a lot of people do all they can to get in their house. The way our economy and government is set up, it's like tooth and nail to fight you to get out your house. 40% of all houses in America are paid off. Paid off. 40% of all houses in America are no mortgage, paid off. Out of the next level, 70% of all houses with mortgages have a mortgage under 4%. Okay. Simon, this is true for white people, black people. Their baby boomers are not the wealthiest. I know they love giving you this story. The numbers are not matching. A lot of black people gonna wake up and when grandma die, they fighting because ain't no money. Just being honest. Okay. So let me go on to the next part and let me start showing you these California folks.
Captured in stocks and mutual fund. To put that into context, just 10%
of Americans own 93% of stocks. Please look at this. This is the one time Tone Talks probably brings this up. I'm not certain. I couldn't watch him. I haven't been able to watch him over the years. Y'all send me clips, but my head hurts when I hear him talk. No harm, no foul. It's just if I felt like he felt, I go find a bridge and I jump off it. Because what's the point? You're gonna be poor your whole life. Your mama's poor, your daddy's poor, your kids are gonna be poor. And ain't no way out of it. Well, damn. Good gracious. Like I don't have no say so. I can't go buy a house. I can't start a business. I can't start a service business. I can't become a plumber. I can't become a trucker and make some money. Interesting. So anyway,
of Americans own about 90% of the stock market. We got here today because in my last video, I did a profile of the average man and job as well.
This is a good one. I like this one. Again, this is U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, April 2024, U.S. Today. Okay, average salaries. Okay, look at them numbers. Look at the colors. This is why when people move to Texas from Oklahoma, we talk smack on Oklahoma. But when people move here to Texas, they're like, oh man, I got to Houston, I bought a house. I got here, I bought a house. Okay, same here. Look at Florida. Look at North Carolina. Look at Pole, South Carolina. Pole, beautiful South Carolina. But anyway, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Look. You see, Mississippi don't even participate. They just say, why are we going to send you up our $12? We can't do it. Now you see up here in New York, 84,000. Up here, 85,000. As much as people try to tell you they're making millions of dollars in New York, they are not. We all know it. Okay. Now over here, flip it back over. Texas, North Carolina, Georgia. Average salaries. Okay. Look at California. If you're making 54,000 in California, God bless you. God bless you. You're struggling, baby. 60K in Washington, same deal. 56K in Alaska. Alaska, the milk is $8. Lived there as a kid. Milk is $8. You're going to need multiple people in your house. Now, of course, Mississippi want to contribute. Now, Pope Pitiful, Arkansas want to add their numbers up here. 39,000, 38,000. If I was in these states, I don't even know if I would escape to Memphis. I go somewhere outside of here. Okay, everybody see these numbers? Cool. I'm serious. It's what? You Poe? You gonna stay Poe? You'd be like, Tone, I can't rock with you today. It's too much. Let me get up here. Okay, here we go. This one right here. The average income for single people living alone in the United States is $56,000. Single females alone on average earn $50K a year. Single males on average earn $61,000. Married couples earn $146 per year together. Okay, married people's incomes are 26% more than single people's on average.
Women made about $50,000 a year, and single men earned I
don't even care about that. You could read this right here. Evidence from Survey of Consumer Finances, 2019 to 2022. These are big years. Let me tell you like this. 2019, I was in a mastermind group. $7,000 to be in it. 150 people were in it. I will tell you right now, 60% of the 60 dudes in there were from Australia. They were doing everything in their power to get out of Australia by getting credit and starting businesses in America and getting business visas. There's stuff in this economy that's been going on for years. But anyway, let me move out of there. 817. Let me get to it. Right here. All right, so look at that.
Ever, and in some cases, not at all, with your average male marrying at a little bit over age 30 or 30 and a half, almost 31, and women marrying at age 28. That's been rising every year. And in fact, there was a new record high of 20.
Right here, 25% of people in 2021, 40-year-olds who had never been married, 1 in 4 basically, out here cutting up in these streets.
5% of Americans at age 40 who had never married. To quickly review, the average male earned $84,000. The median.
That's not what I want. I want the other thing he has in here. That ain't it. Y'all can watch this on your own time. Just hold on. 1241. Oh no, I already did that. Boom. Here we go. Peak boomers. Did I miss it?
If they rely on just Social Security. Social Security, because 1 in 3 Americans.
Boom. Peak boomers. Medium Social Security benefits, $28,000 for men and $21,000 for women. Do you think your grandma and grandpa gonna be able to take care of themselves with $21,000? Retirement inequities. Peak boomers minimum retirement savings is only $225,000. That's why this whole I'm gonna retire and live off my dividend stocks. You ain't put no money in there. Blacks, $49,000 on average. These numbers are important because of the videos I'm going to show you. Did not graduate. I don't know if that means high school or what. Oh, they didn't make you grad high school. $7,000. White, $299. Hispanic, $123. College grads, $594,000. Again, that's doctors, that's lawyers. High school grads, $75,000. I just want y'all to see that.
Americans have $0 saved for retirement. They're also
boomers have wealth, Erica. Boomers have wealth. I'm just showing you.
Looking at an annual income of just Social Security of less than $30,000. So now that we have.
Hold on. I meant for y'all to look at the bottom part. There we go. Get that red thing off of it. Hated it.
So looking.
Anyway, 30 million baby boomers will rely on their Social Security. That ain't enough money. So this whole baby boomers are rich thing. Whew, I know y'all want the black baby boomers done spend our wealth. No, they worked, they lived. They didn't spend your money. That's not your money. That's not your money. Let me show you a Black woman who made money. Okay. listen. That's why I love people going, hey, what's the solution? And he be throwing them off there. I love it. Because they be getting them. They be getting them all the time. What's the solution? What you gonna do about it? He ain't got one. Just to tell you, you're gonna be broke forever. All right, so this is a cop. Okay, this is a cop in Chicago. Remember how I told you what assets, where you need to put your money? We have to really start talking to people about where do you put your money. Why I keep going against big banks. I keep telling y'all it's not worth it. Here we go, and then we're gonna do the Colorado segment to close out.
Of your savings account. If you haven't looked for a while, your bank may not have your back if there's fraud on your account. This is a lesson one Calumet Heights woman learned the hard way, unfortunately. PJ Randawa shares the story.
I worked my butt off.
For 18 years, Courtney White was a sergeant with the Markham Police Department, and that's where she got her nickname.
I was the overtime queen at work, so all my overtime money went into my savings for my family.
To help those savings grow, Courtney set up a Chase bank account in 2001 with no debit card and no checks.
I deliberately had my savings account set up where I would have to walk into the bank to make transactions.
And that's what Courtney did every month for years to withdraw money for her son's allowance.
How much money had been in there up until that point?
Probably about $100,000, between 80 and 100.
But one day in the fall of 2022, Courtney heard the words many of us dread.
Again, pause. Why? Why do you have 80,000 to 100,000 in any account getting 1% interest? Why do you just have it out there frilly nilly? Why isn't it in bank CDs? Why? Like, I'm not saying the whole thing, just 10%. Can we just put $8,000 in a bank CD? Can we put 20 grand of it in a bank CD? Can we put something in there getting 4 or 5% interest? Just to have some money sitting off an account, I feel you. It's better than her having in the mattress and the house burned down, but this don't make no sense. $80,000 to $100,000 just sitting up in an account, collecting 1% interest. Chase Bank should do her a favor because they love her. They love people like her. Yeah, just leave it over here. No problem. Do you know how many times she came to the branch and they probably asked her about CDs? No, she's not going to be good. They're not going to cover her. Well, I'm going to finish playing it. Like, this is crazy. This right here is the first step to helping your grandma. Grandma, mama, why do you have 80,000 in an account? That needs to be put somewhere. But let me finish. Let's finish.
Insufficient funds. For the first time in months, she checked her account balance.
There were daily withdrawals, probably two to four every day, thousands of dollars.
She learned someone had been impersonating her, withdrawing a total of $87,000 from her Chase account, mostly in person at this Chase branch on 103rd Street. It happened for more than a year.
If you look at all of the withdrawal slips, you can clearly see the difference in the handwriting. So I don't know how they couldn't catch that.
Courtney filed a police report and has filed several fraud claims with Chase Bank since then, but all of them denied. The reason? Chase said she hadn't reported the fraud within 30 days of receiving her statement.
Somebody should have recognized that this was an outrageous amount of transactions every day. There should have been some sort of alert. I've never banked like that. And like I said, I've had Chase for 20 years.
NBC5 Response took a closer look at that Chase Bank branch on 103rd. Chicago police records show more than half a dozen Chase customers who used this branch reported unauthorized withdrawals on their accounts within the past few years.
Pause. Who has an account that they ain't wrapped in no bank CDs? They just got it sitting in there. She ain't logged in once a week to check. Now she go and give this allowance to this child, right? So every week when she did that, she should have got what? A piece of paper, a statement saying how much was in her account. If she's still giving her children, or she's talking about the son, I think at this point, the daughter's older, they would have got, again, why didn't they text you? All this stuff. That's why I say I don't mess with big banks. I don't mess with big banks. I always try to find a community bank because they've been over. Hey, Miss Williams. I remember one time I have an account that not much is going on in it. It's one of these accounts, and it had $3,000 check getting withdrawn out of it. And I had 3,300. Man, they called me personally. Hey, do you know who this person is? Are you authorizing this? They called me on my phone, y'all. Like they ain't had nothing to do at the bank. We just want to make sure you're okay. I'm like, I'm good. Did you sign this? I signed it. Oh, okay. You sure? Now make sure, check your alerts on your phone. That's a community bank. That's a community bank. Get out of here. That's why you can't, oh, Erica, but what about ATMs? And I want to go anywhere and use ATM. Y'all are more worried about a $3 ATM fee that they're going to pay you back. Because you want to have Bank of America. Do you know how many times people come on here and talk about Bank of America? And I go, all the stuff Bank of America has done, this branch right here should be shut down. Because if every 2 weeks this branch is experiencing financial fraud, they would not be allowed to be open. If they was a Chick-fil-A, a Starbucks, they would never be allowed to stay open like this. Cash App, anything. 4% savings, 5% savings, anything would have been better than her just sitting free money, aka free chicken, just sitting it out there. You have to report fraud. That's what I'm saying. You have to be able to log into your bank account and check it weekly. Now I'm literally Grant Cardone crackhead style. I'm checking it every day. I get up and check it in the morning. I'm like, get your ass to work because you ain't got enough money. I check it in the morning and I'm like, well, okay, that's what's going on. Great, right? Like you got to understand when I had one of our companies and we've got 10 trucks, 10 gas cars all over the place running up and down the road. We got 10 properties. You got to check that bank accounts, and there are more than one every day. Now you're going to say, well, Erica, she ain't got that going on. She ain't got a bunch of business going on. She just put money in her savings account. Ma'am, she's not a police officer anymore. What else she got to do with her week? Check that bank account. Check it. Check it. I'm talking about look at the statements for real. Why is there no text to her phone? You dig what I'm saying? As a good banker, they would have even invited her over to the private Chase account for having $100,000 just sitting in her savings. They would have been actively every time this woman came in the bank. Hey, ma'am, how can we help you move your money? How can we help put your money in CDs? She had to either be rude to them about it. It just don't make no sense. Listen, come on, man. She should have millions of dollars off that money. You know what I'm saying? You take money out the bank, they come out. Well, hey, what's going on? What's happening? I had a $30,000 payment for services rendered. Don't matter what the services are. Y'all ain't got to know all that. And my bank called me, hey, somebody just brought and deposited, not deposited, they wired it. What do you call it? ACH'd it to me. And I said, yeah, it's a payment. And I had to come show them the invoice. They were so concerned. Like smaller banks are better because they're more nosy, yes, but also they want to know what's going on. Like, okay, well, Ms. Williams, if you're doing this type of company service, we have loans for our contractors. We also have lot loans. They would have never told me about the lot loan if that transaction had not hit that bank. So you got to realize, like, smaller banks would have never let this happen. For sure. But I think this count, she keeps it like a hidden piggy bank, and that didn't work at all.
The scenarios described, all similar to Courtney's. The data also gave us more insight into what else was happening inside this Chase branch. We found more than a dozen Chase customers reported they were robbed or scammed while using the ATM inside the branch. Also frustrating, when it came to Courtney's case, she said Chase wouldn't provide any surveillance video to show who was making all of those withdrawals. In a statement, a Chase Bank spokesperson told NBC5 Response it reviewed Ms. White's case from 3 years ago and has not reversed its decision. In response to our questions about all the police reports filed at Courtney's Chase branch, they would only say the safety of our employees and customers is our top priority, and our security team works closely with local law enforcement to monitor and ensure that. But as a result of losing her life savings, Courtney says she had to make the heartbreaking decision to take her son out of private school.
I worked hard for that money. And that's what I did for a living, help people who are victims of crimes, fraud, And here I became a victim myself.
Here are some key takeaways. Make it a habit to check the balance on all your bank accounts. Like Chase, your bank may require you to file a fraud claim for suspicious charges within 30 days of receiving your account statement. Set up balance or transaction alerts for your accounts, even the ones you don't use very often. PJ Randhawa, NBC5 responds.
So frustrating, but good to know there's something you can do about it. Thank you, PJ.
All right. So what do we learn? Okay, what did we learn? We learned what? Come on. Especially being a cop. Now this where let's really go there. If she a cop, and she worked at overtime, she need to make a few phone calls. She need to be like, hey, friend that's still over there, go get these surveillance videos. Tell me who pulled this money. You see what I'm saying? That just don't make no sense. And she's in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? She need to make some calls. Where her buddies at? She know how bad the schools is. That's why her kids in private school. I'm just letting y'all know. Don't trust Chase. Shit, Chase Bank. Everybody be wanting Chase cards are the best, Erica. Please. I mean, one of her former colleagues, somebody. You dig what I'm saying? Somebody. She need to call some friends. Okay. Now, I will say some of those small community banks, depending on where you are, you need to move around for sure. You know, if you in back road wherever, yeah, you might need to move around. You may need to. It's possible. But in general, like they don't even at the little community bank let you just leave money anywhere. They just don't. On a real tip. Let me see. Regional differences for sure. I mean, who she need to call? Ghostbusters or something. You dig what I'm saying? Somebody. All right. So that's that. I'm just like, that whole story is bothersome. I'm like, what? Okay, let me go to the next. But that's this is the last one. This is why I'm sad about this. Is the saddest one. What in the world? But okay, brace yourselves. Oh, dang it. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. My bad. Could y'all hear any of it? Dang. Hold on.
COVID.
Tough times rarely are singular.
I was home recovering from breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy.
Hence the phrase, when it rains, it pours.
I had taken a huge cut in pay based on COVID.
The storm of 2021 hit Laura
Crap.
Walsh especially hard.
And I needed the money to help pay my bills, my medical bills.
So she looked to her biggest asset, her home, for a little financial help, searching for refinancing offers online.
And out of nowhere, I received a text from a company.
A text offering Walsh a deal. Sign this contract, letting us, MV Realty, sell your home if and when you're ready to sell, and we'll give you cash now.
It was $1,500 for basically doing nothing. It took care of some small things that at least got me some relief.
About a year later, Walsh decided to sell her home. So she reached out to the company, MV Realty, to get it on the market.
I couldn't find or contact any of them when it was time to sell my house.
She says phone numbers were disconnected. Emails went unreplied.
I tried to look them up online, and the only thing I could find was an office listed down in Centennial. And I went down there and there was nobody there. It was small, empty, like storefront.
We went there too.
Hey guys, is MV Realty based in here?
Nope, she told me not here.
But based in Florida, known for this. Homeowner benefit agreement in exchange for a small amount of cash up front. This agreement gives MV Realty the exclusive right to list your home, meaning that they get thousands of dollars in commission when you sell it. Now, if you do go through another real estate agent to sell your home, this contract still guarantees that MV Realty pockets 3% of the sale. And it says this agreement is a covenant on the land, meaning even if the homeowners die, their successors are still on the hook. And to make sure everyone knows about this agreement, MV Realty files a memorandum with the clerk and recorder. Then they just wait.
I just thought they went away.
Unable to contact MV Realty, Walsh listed her home with another agent, found a buyer too. The home went under contract. And then
the very next day, I received an email with a lawsuit saying breach of contract.
The contract showing that MV Realty was entitled to 3% of Walsh's sale price, nearly 20 grand.
I mean, they literally did nothing for that money.
Walsh is by no means alone.
Ma'am, they gave you $1,500 from a text. Listen, if I were her, I would have claimed I'm suffering from cancer and I had a mental break. My brain wasn't working. Something. $1,500. Y'all, do you know she could have went down to her bank and got a HELOC? She could have been on her computer for her bank and got a HELOC. Now, at the end of the day, she paid them people. She didn't have no choice. But she walked away with $137,000. And people were like, I said, damn, she walked away with $137,000. And they're like, that's not the point. I said, the point was she needed that $1,500. And who's going through cancer? And none of your friends and family got $1,500. Diamond Dave has been talking about in a series about when people are single and they're sick. This is a prime example. If you're single, you done got both the boobies cut off, you suffer from cancer. Where's anybody at to throw her a few dollars? You dig what I'm saying? Okay, so let's keep it moving. You got to hear some of the other ones. Some of these people's on drugs. When you see them,
we scoured county property records and found more than 900 of these agreements.
900
people was like 1,500. Heck yeah! This is why I want y'all to understand. When Black people tell me they don't want to buy a home, I want you to understand. So many people ain't that bright, ain't that smart, ain't that smart. Is in a house, and you sitting here like, well, I don't want no house because I don't want responsibility. This woman, many of the others that sell their house walk away with 100,000 plus. It's crazy. Anyway, let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. Okay, let me click the button.
Wow.
More than 900 Colorado homeowners who signed up for the homeowner benefit program between 2021 and 2023.
They may have signed it and not know what the ticking time bomb they're sitting on.
I know better. I know better.
Ponce Chavez is no stranger to financial contracts.
I was in banking since 1977. I knew a lot of the scams that were going on out there.
Yet she also got a text from MV
1977 at a bank, and she responding to texts. Where her bank friends at? Let's go again.
Realty and signed that same agreement.
I just deposited the check and paid some bills.
When she went to refinance her home, the memorandum filed with the clerk and recorder halted the deal.
I was duped. It doesn't feel good.
MV Realty's agreements have ticked off a lot of people in real estate across the country. 6 states sued the company in the past year. Here in Colorado, MV's listing contracts got the attention of state lawmakers.
It's designed to be predatory. The intent is to do as little work for as much money as possible.
But while they call these agreements predatory, they also realized they were technically legal.
While I think it was clear to everybody that they were violating the intent and the spirit of Colorado real estate law, they weren't violating the letter.
Senate Bill 77.
So Democratic State Senator Nick Heinrichsen
Bad practices.
sponsored legislation to ban them going forward.
To not allow a recordable lien.
It passed with bipartisan support.
That passes unanimous.
Good news for homeowners moving forward. Bad news for the 900 people who've already signed.
It's incredibly difficult for legislation to impact contract law retroactively, and this legislation does not.
Bad news.
Y'all. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm like, these people these people be drinking. These people be drinking in Texas. If y'all know how many phone calls I get on one of my phones a day, I can show y'all my screen. It'd be crazy. 10 to 11 calls per day asking, do I want some business funding? I'll be like, sir, get off my line. I don't even answer. One of these phones I turn off. And you're going to get calls. You're going to get texts. Like, you have to. It just doesn't understand. I don't understand. But no, listen, it's more than 20,000, because a lot of California homes are selling for 700,000, 800,000. So 3% of whatever it sells for. So you gave up your house. You needed 1,500 so bad. Listen to me. There's something Asia says, and I agree. F them loans. If somebody's calling your house like, you better pay your bills today. If you don't pay your bills today, we're going to cut your electricity off. We're going to cut you. Let it cut off. Let it cut off. Because that's crazy. This don't even make good sense. It's crazy. Let me go ahead and go. Let me hit the button. I want to skip it a part, but I'm going to put it down.
For people like
her name is literally
Chavez.
Ponzi.
They didn't grandfather it in.
They
Is that
all
crazy?
signed an agreement that's effective for 40 years.
40 years? 40 years? Good Lord. No. 40 years?
When Chavez learned that, she told us she'll have to die in her current home.
It's just something that we have to live with now.
She doesn't have to die in her home. She doesn't. All she has to do is sell and pay them people their money. When people say, oh, I got to just die in my home, they're basically willing to stay in a house that they don't want to be in to not pay that 3%. That's what they're telling you. I'll do anything not to pay that 3%. Did you take the money? It's like when I hear people with title loans, I'm like, did you take the title loan? But that's not fair, Erica. Did you take the title loan? And anyway, I'm gonna stop. She used to work at a bank, baby. That's the craziest part.
Unless we could find a way to dump them, without paying them $15,000, because I don't think that they deserve it.
Some we've talked to have taken their house off the market after threats from MV Realty. Others, like Laura Walsh, felt pressure to pay up.
It's completely unscrupulous and taking advantage of people, especially at the time when they came after me.
In the end, Walsh paid $9,000 to the real estate agent who did all the work to sell her home, and nearly $20,000 to MV Realty for doing nothing.
But she also walked away with $137,000. Now, would it have been better if she walked away with 157,000? For sure. But she walked away with 137,000. This is why when people talk about having a home, she suffered cancer, she moved to an apartment. Y'all, knock it off. Knock it off. She still, they're like, it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant of the point. No, it is the point. Owning a home is an important asset and you guard it with your life. A lot of people are, I don't want the responsibility of a house. And what I really want you to understand is having wealth is responsibility. The reason so many African-American people don't want to have a business is because they want to treat shit like a dope game. Well, I put 500 in, I better give 5,000 back. Baby, this ain't we ain't flipping crack. What is this you're talking about? You put 500 in, you might get 500 back in a couple months or the end of the year. When you talk to people about 2 to 10 years of investing into something, 2 to 10 years, I need $500 back right now. Like, what? That's not how any of this works. 40 years, they got 40-year contracts on these people. 40-year contracts on these people. So you can sell now, you can sell later, your children can sell. Okay, one lady got out of the deal. Let me get to her.
We work too hard to make the money we do to pay for the homes that we have. It's the American dream. And to me, it was the American nightmare.
Because you had to pay 20 grand because you want a text for 1,500? Girl, stop. Knock it off. Hold on, let me switch it up. Now this guy on drugs. This guy on drugs.
Please take notice.
Jonathan Meade has lived in this Colorado Springs home for 6 years now.
Under Chapter 11.
And in November of 2023,
in further accordance with the notice procedures order,
got a letter about his house full of legal mumbo jumbo.
Do you understand what any of that means?
Not really, no.
The letter explains Jonathan is part of a bankruptcy proceeding, a bankruptcy filed by a company called MV Realty, a company we've told you about before.
I think at the time, like when you're in that mindset of desperation and you're trying to just maintain your mortgage payment.
Meade signed MV Realty's homeowner benefit agreement, a contract that gave him a little over $1,000 up front in exchange for a promise. If he ever decided to sell his home, he would use MV Realty as his agent.
I wasn't at my highest and best and thinking clearly, and I was acting out of desperation.
Wait. Listen to what he just said. I wasn't at my highest or my best. This man looked like he just took a pill 20 minutes ago before the reporter got here. He got jaundiced looking neck. He looks sweaty with the makeup on for this man's on drugs. This man's on drugs. I want y'all to understand when people talk about wealth in America and Tone talks, please buy a damn house. Buy a damn house, y'all. They letting crackheads buy houses. They letting dope fiends buy houses. They letting this guy right here sweating. There ain't even bright lights on in the house. He's sweating hard. It's Christmas time. He on some perk. He on some something. Okay. And so when black people be like, they don't let us buy no houses. What are you talking about? He said he wasn't at his highest or his best. Baby, you were at your highest for sure. Not your best, but you were certainly high. You were certainly, he was on something. You was having a future song music, okay? Like, knock it off. This man is sweating through makeup, y'all. Sweating through makeup. The reporter like, damn, this house stinking. It look like it smelled like cats in there, man. I mean, this is crazy. Whew, I can't. This man on drugs. Drugs. Okay, let me finish. He's on the drugs. Let me finish.
I needed to pay my bills. I needed to feed my animals.
It seemed like a good...
I needed to feed my animals. Sir, you're shaking in the interview. Stop it. Cut it out.
Good deal at the time, until he realized he was locked into a 40-year agreement.
And then I saw your story on 9 News, and I was like, wait a minute.
Meade is one of 900 Colorado homeowners we found who signed on with MV Realty. We found them because MV Realty files documentation about those contracts with county clerks, telling anyone looking at the property that MV Realty will receive 3% of the home's value if that property ever sells. And even if a homeowner dies, their heirs are still bound by that agreement.
I feel like I got taken advantage of, and I'm not alone in that.
Colorado legislators banned these types of contracts earlier this year, and MV Realty faces lawsuits in 7 states, with attorneys general calling these agreements predatory.
This isn't right. This is fraudulent. It's predatory.
And now bankrupt.
And I got the notice in the mail for the bankruptcy filing. And I thought, well, maybe this is a way for me to void this contract.
In early November, MV Realty filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, a petition to try to keep the company alive while it reorganizes. In that filing, MV Realty lists about 750 active agreements with Colorado homeowners as assets, since they're guaranteed at least 3% commission if a home sells.
My first reaction was like, hallelujah, this fraudulent company is going to be held accountable by the United States of America.
Bankruptcy courts and equity relief.
I can't. That man's so high. So high. He's so high. He just took a pill for that cane. He took a pill. I can't. I mean, listen, I'm talking about high as a kite. High as a kite. Ugh, I can't. He was high at the closing. It's just, I can't. Because it's just, it's like they combed his hair too. Like, sir, we got to get you put together because you was high. Hold on, let me skip ahead. I want to. We ain't watching this part. We skipping ahead. Where's this girl at? Okay. So long the story short, they took their license. They no longer have a license to sell real estate in Colorado. So you would think that means, hey, I don't have to pay y'all. Psych. They still have to pay them.
I'm desperate. Literally.
Judith Farkas de Zelaya called us as the clock was winding down. Her mother passed away in February. Judith was working to sell mom's home. She hired a real estate agent, got the home under contract, and then she says she got an email from a company called MV Realty.
They contacted me and said, hey, we noticed you're selling your house and this contract is in place.
This contract, which
First of all, Judith do some pills too. Judith do some pills too. And she got that Botox on them lips. Some prescription going on up in there. There's some prescription going on. Okay. Anyway.
MV Realty calls a homeowner benefit agreement. Judith's mom, Mildred, signed it back in 2022.
They would pay her a little over $2,000. And then if and when she decided to sell the house, they would have the privilege of selling it for her. She never sold the house. So I thought that was the end of the matter.
But it wasn't the end. That agreement goes on to say it's valid for 40 years and not tied to the person who signed it.
Now, wait a minute. Mildred's house is worth $736,380. Now, it might be worth more than that by the time she sold it, but times 3%. Heck yeah, they're getting $22,000 off Mildred. They're going to get it. They want it. Okay? Okay, Mildred has passed and they want their monies. Yeah, that's what's going on. Let me keep going.
But rather to the property. And it promises MV Realty a 3% share of the commission on a sale, even if another broker sells the home. In Judith's case, that's a lot.
They are proposing to take about a $30,000 commission out of the proceeds from the sale of the house.
So what that tells you is appreciation past when she signed it. That had to be like for $900,000 almost. Yeah. Like her daughter about to walk off with like $300,000 in equity, but she's fighting these people for that $30,000. And I feel you. Fight for your mama, right? She need money for the lips, for the Botox and all that stuff. But let's go.
Judith is one of about 900 people, Steve on your side, found in Colorado who are currently in limbo. Limbo because while the state legislature banned this kind of contract a few years ago, and state regulators this fall revoked MV Realty's license to sell real estate in Colorado, these 900 people all signed contracts before the change in state law, meaning that even though MV Realty can't legally sell homes in this state, they still technically can claim that commission.
I feel like I'm being robbed, just absolutely robbed.
I've never seen a contract purporting to lock somebody into a brokerage listing for 40 years. That's a first for me.
Mark Cohen is a real estate attorney and an expert on contracts.
That contract is essentially unenforceable because MVR doesn't have the legal ability to fulfill its end of the bargain.
The problem, he says, in order to prove that, you'll need a court to declare it.
So the question the homeowner has to ask themselves is, what's cheaper? Do I want to spend money to file an arbitration to get this declared to be void? Is it cheaper just to pay MVR and get on with my life?
There is another way some people have seen their contracts torn up. Attorneys general in several states have sued MV Realty. Most recently, the state of California got a judge to issue a preliminary injunction, helping more than 1,000 Californians escape their MV Realty contracts. Here in Colorado, that doesn't seem to be happening, because each time we've asked the Attorney General's office about MV Realty over the last year, we get the same one-sentence response that the office can't confirm or discuss investigations. Judith, she found another way out.
She had been experiencing memory issues for years prior to signing that.
Her mom, Mildred, had Alzheimer's disease back in 2022 when she signed that contract. When Judith mentioned that to MV Realty's legal team, then poof, the contract was gone days before she was due to close.
I would like the Attorney General of the state of Colorado to shut MV Realty down now. We shouldn't have to suffer these predatory business practices that are well documented and well known.
And this was during one of those down periods.
As the pandemic raged in early 2021, Sean Kennedy said his contract consulting business was drying up. So the offer he got in the mail was tempting. Sign what MV Realty called a homeowner benefit agreement, promising to use the company to list his home if he ever sold and receive $1,400, money needed at the time.
My intention at the time was I love my house. I was never going to leave my house. So it didn't bother me to take their money because I was never going to need the real estate services.
It wasn't until after he met a notary to sign the agreement that he saw the fine print.
That this is a 40-year agreement.
Did you see that at the time when you signed it?
Not when I signed it. No. And again, it was my fault. I mean, this isn't something where I was a consumer that was scammed or duped.
But it didn't mean he wasn't ticked. So he tried to reach out to the guy.
So pause. Okay. He a little sassy, but also, why do these people think they were going to take $1,500 and there was never going to be some type of pay it back? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what these payday loans these people ever experienced before, but this is what this is. This is a payday loan. This is the wild, wild west of real estate. When people are in a house and instead of selling a few things they got in their house on Facebook Marketplace or decluttering or selling a car they don't use no more, they taking $1,500 for a lien on their house. Make it make sense.
Company to ask them more.
I'm not even going to be alive in 40 years. You know, what happens if I die in this house? Does that mean they still get the listing? They've never responded to any of my inquiries.
So he followed from the sidelines, saw Steve on Your Side's reporting. We found more than 900 Colorado homeowners signed these agreements, which state lawmakers banned moving forward in early 2023. MV Realty no longer has a real estate license in Colorado, yet the company is still trying to enforce these contracts, which is relevant to Sean now that he's decided to retire and move out of the country. It's why he sent us an email MV Realty sent him this week.
Up until you got this email,
it was going to be trouble to sell this house.
The email invites customers to stay on board, still use MV Realty, but if they're uncomfortable,
if you give us our money back that we paid you, we'll let you out of the contract.
The email says homeowners have until May 5th to contact the company and pay their promotion back. The reason for the sudden change, MV Realty says homeowners are confused, and apparently it's our fault.
It says the homeowner benefit agreement and the homeowner benefit program have been widely misunderstood in the media, causing many MV Realty customers unneeded distress. Did your distress go away?
No, my distress is very much present. I'm afraid that their whole offer is going to be yanked out from under me, and they're going to say, no, it was a trick. You're still in this contract for the next 40 years. And they're going to laugh maniacally, and I'm going to have to call you back.
So Sean Kennedy paid his $1,500 back and got out the program. If 900 people pay their $1,500 to $2,000, some of them got more. That's 1.33 million that MV Realty gets just for getting this money back from people. But do you understand these people are pay the money back. Pay the money back. They don't want to hear that part. I'll die in this house before I pay $1,500 back. What kind of shit is that? I'm not gonna listen. Sell your house. If you was going across the country, okay, if you were going across the country, you were leaving, you're gonna let the 3% 14 grand stop you? Think about it. Yeah, people think they was getting some free money. They didn't vet it at all. They didn't Google the company. You know, he could have got a line of credit. All these people, the smell test is off. That's why I tell you, most Americans ain't really working like that. Most Americans are living on credit cards and jacked up. That's why when Tone talks like the black people are poor, I'm like, the white people are poor. The people is poor out here. They done spent up all their money on cars. I looked up Susan Kinder. She definitely worked for them folks. And she said, they gave Colorado millions over $1 million. They need something back. They need something back. They sent somebody to the clerk office to write all them forms. Man, let me tell you, I don't know where that man going. That man probably going to move to Thailand, but I'm going to leave that alone. Money vacuum. I'm telling you. I review contracts for a living man. I mean, it's crazy. They could have just got a payday loan that wasn't tied to their house. That's what it's saying. Like, they live in Colorado where the appreciation on some of their houses have gone up 200,000, but they don't have 1,500 to pay. And instead of just saying, I'm going to take a loss, just take a loss of 14 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is. These people are willing to, I'm going to die in my house. What? Girl, bye. So he repaid his money. Okay. These people have up to May 2025. And guess what's going to happen? A bunch of them are like, I didn't know. No one told me May 2025 was the payoff date. That's what's going to happen. A bunch of them, oh, nobody told me. Nobody told me. They're going to play that game. Woo. Okay. These people choosing death over 1,500. They choosing death in a house they don't even want to be in no more. That's how you know people down bad. That's why when I tell y'all, these people be in apartments getting kicked out after 21 days, eviction, right? It takes 3 to 4 years to kick you out of a house foreclosure style. That's why these people will put their house on the market and they just let it stay for sale for a long time because they're not worried. By the time it does sell, okay, yeah, I still walk away with hundreds of thousands. Again, all these people that bought houses in 2019, 2020, come on, man. They up 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. So what? That's my whole point. They're selling on appreciation money and don't want to pay the appreciation money. It's crazy. That's crazy. I have a feeling, we had there's a law that came in that you can't just mass text people. I feel like this was right before that law came out. They was mass texting everybody that owned a house. Again, you guys can go on Melissa Data right now and type in business owners making over $50,000 a year, homeowners, and it will print you a list of the city and state of your choice. And you're gonna pay some money for it, but that data is gold. People love paying for the data. And honestly, some of these people had to be looking up payday loans for it to be shot to them. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just come out of nowhere. And the fact that nobody feels like they need to pay the 1,500 back. And a lot of these people signed in 2021, 2020, 2022. You've had 2, 3, 4 years to recover. Trust me. I really wanted to do a whole show about it takes 2 years to recover, but I don't have the energy. I don't want to do it. But because the fact is, people don't want to do it, right? You got to want to recover. You got to want to, change what's going on with you. LeVar Ball daddy got his foot cut off, diabetes. Okay. Like we know, like you rich now. How you getting your foot cut off from diabetes, sir? It's crazy. It's real wild out here. My tutor, mother figure, was talking about moving to Thailand over this Trump situation. I was just listening like, oh man. I mean, these people, it's wild. These people like, I'm gonna go to Thailand. I'm gonna hide out and you'll be right back. So I hope this was a helpful, informative show. I have an ideal that it's going to be for the next 4 years. It's going to be crazy. People going to need money, and instead of, oh, let me go work, let me adjust my bills, let me not pay something, maybe be late. They're going to get caught up in scams like this, and it's not going to be the first. It's not going to be the last. Somebody said this comment, and I was going to leave it alone, but I'm going to pull it up because I'm petty, and I agree. Hold on. If I can find it. Somebody here put something about Tulsa real estate. I was trying not to laugh, but it's true. It's very much true. I can't find it. One of you, oh, there it is. I found it. Ant Dog. He said, perfect example, Tulsa real estate fund. Folks wanted $20K off the $500 in a 2-month time span. If you read the paperwork, okay, and Diamond Dave does a great breakdown of this, okay? But if you read the paperwork, 8% returns on $500 is $40. And the truth is, when you read some of these big companies, they only give back 7% on average. I was at Wealth Wednesdays and I read a perspective from a company, and I was like, you're going to give this company millions of dollars and all they can promise you back is 7% interest? You can go get 7% interest right now throwing your money into a stock account. You can get 12, 13, 14% if I'm thinking about it. You know, come on, man. It's wild out here. So, I mean, not the foot, man. And he just literally said he had a sugar addiction. I'm like, anyway. All right, look, that was the show today. I might go catch the San Antonio Spurs game tonight real quick. But you guys, it's your girl Erica, Classic Unplugged. Stay safe out here. Please read your contracts. Please don't leave your money in a lump sum savings account without checking it, right? I'm not against checking accounts, but I want you to bank CDs, level up income. The reason I wrote Smartphone Millionaire book, because I just saw all the different ways you could invest, and in the new books that are coming out, the 2 that are coming out, and I'm going on the circuit to do all these podcasts. That's part of what I'm talking about. It's like the basic math and reading that people need to make it in America has been so low. It hasn't really required anything. Like, these people had to know 1,500, there's a gotcha in it. Now, some of them clearly is on some pills. That one lady, Miss Ponzi, might be falling down from the pills. I don't know. She got bruises on her face when we saw her. So it seems real crazy. I don't know that. I'm not going to accuse him of that. But there is this kind of black boomers owe us something mentality out here. And I'm just going to let you know, like, every single group comes here. And I know we hate comparing, but the Hispanic people come here, the Nigerians, all these people, well, they're sending their best. Man, I meet Nigerians every day. They ain't sending their best. I meet Hispanic people every day. They not sending the toothless man over there by Jersey Mike's that I met the other day. They not always sending their best. Cut it out, y'all. Knock that off. It's a simple thing. If you know the rules of the game, is this country since 1971 has been off the gold standard. So it's an asset-based society. You collect assets. You don't collect cars. I know too many black people that got 4, 5, 6 cars. And you're like, what you gonna do with the cars? Well, if I ever need to, I can sell one. Man, you ain't selling that 1999 Honda for much. Man, if you don't stop it, cut it out. Like, get out of here with that. So, the focus on business, the focus on just moving our money around in the bank. She was a cop. She knows Chicago got identity theft like crazy. That's crazy. And then she got life alert after they stole all her money. Baby, you needed life alert before they stole $100,000. Anyways, all right, you guys. This is your girl Erica, Classic on Blog. Thank you for being here tonight. You guys have a wonderful evening.
This is David W. Williams, and I'm giving a testimony to Erica Williams and her team. Because of the advertising relationship that we were able to develop, my company had the best month in the month of November for the whole year of 2024. And I'm talking about our sales were 3 or 4 times any other month during that particular year. And I know it's because of the relationship that I had with Erica and how she worked with me as an advertising partner. So now here's the benefit of working with her and her team. She's going to communicate to you what you're going to get as a result of working with her. She's going to over deliver on her value that she's providing, right? And she's not going to do a one-off deal. She's going to really invest in your success because she's really invested in making sure that you're going to get a success story from working with her as an advertising partner. So if you're looking to drive more sales, you're looking to bring in more leads, and you're also looking to get more exposure to what you're doing, you want to reach out to Erica and ask her, can I advertise with you?